So we know that Bethesda have been very, very busy on a lot of their projects. One of them, of course, being a new big game that should be coming out hopefully next year, unless it gets delayed to the 1800th time in Starfield. Again, after Starfield, we know that the Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be coming out. And Bethesda have confirmed now in the past that, of course, Fallout 5 will be the next game after that. And if it keeps going like how it is right now, their release schedules and release dates, we're probably not going to see Fallout 5 until like 2030. So it's, as you can imagine, there's no real reason for Bethesda to really talk about Fallout at the moment or really anything like that. And we haven't had a whole lot of new information when it does come to Fallout. It almost seems like Fallout 76 is a dead game and has been completely abandoned by Bethesda because they rarely ever update the thing. Like, I can't remember the last time it got some really big, nice, juicy story DLC content, all of the above. Fallout 4 has like monthly Creation Club updates, all of that type of stuff, which is pretty cool, but it's nothing like really, really special. We do know, again, the only thing to do with Fallout though is there is Fallout 4 Creation Club content reportedly coming out next year. We do know they might be fixing some of the bugs and kind of compatibility to PS5 is a little better is probably the right word for it. Again, I made a video on that a little bit ago talking about all of that news and whatnot. So I highly recommend you guys actually go and check them out. I'm going to be honest, probably won't be linked down below because I always forget. But you'll see the thumbnails, search up the video title on my channel, don't be as fucking lazy as I am, and go and watch the videos, man, do what you do. But, you know what, I sound like such a fucking prick when I say that, but you know what, I'm just that guy. I'm gonna be one of those honest fat YouTubers who wears a Dustin Poirier shirt and has some orange sneakers down there for some reason. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, but, again, in me talking about Fallout every single year, there's a person who doesn't talk about Fallout as much as he probably should, and that's, why is my phone fucking going off, bro? And that is the guy who basically is the godfather of Fallout, and it's Todd Howard. The guy doesn't talk about Fallout as much as he should, but he recently did go on a podcast by Lex Fridman, I believe. But yeah, I already made a video or two talking about this podcast, but he did actually explain some stuff about Fallout and just had a good chat about Fallout with this podcast host. And I thought, you know what, I should take this clip and show you guys because I thought it'd be really interesting just to get some like flashbacks and some nostalgia because we haven't seen Fallout content in so long. And it's finally awesome that Todd Howard has actually mentioned it. He has talked about it. And it's interesting to know that this game is still on his mind, which is very good. And again, he does go on this podcast to somewhat not only talk about Starfield, the new Indiana Jones game, all of this type of stuff, but of course Fallout as well. So without further ado, here is the new clip of Todd Howard talking about Fallout.
By the way, I have to be honest, I haven't played Fallout 4. I played Fallout 3. I thought that was a legendary game. I've been, can you make a case for Fallout 4 that I should, or should I just wait till Fallout 5? And when does that come?
I think you should play Fallout 4. Love to hear your thoughts.
All right.
It's a different game.
Skyrim is too. I mean, it's
we try to make them all different. They are
fundamentally different.
They all have their own tone. Yeah. So Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 intentionally a very different tone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So what's that world like? What's the post-apocalyptic world of Fallout? If you can just briefly take a stroll into that world, tone-wise.
Well, look, in entertainment, there's a lot of post-apocalyptic stuff, and what makes Fallout tick is the world that was left behind, the world that blew itself up, this utopian world of nuclear energy, and it all goes wrong. So I love the American dream of that, like how they visioned the future in the 50s and that blowing itself up. I think that's like a super interesting place to explore, which is why we always wanted to play in that world. And it does an amazing job of sort of weaving, you know, the drama and darkness of a post-apocalyptic world with B-movie humor. You know, it winks at the camera sometimes, often actually, and that when you're in that world, it just has this its own unique flow and vibe outside of anything else kind of in that genre.
So Elder Scrolls has, or at least Skyrim has some humor,
Has a little bit.
but
Yeah.
Fallout leans into it a little more.
A little bit more. A little bit more. Yeah. Yeah, it does. It's like ironic humor. It's the duck and
Yeah.
cover. It's to get under your desk if the bomb comes and everything will be fine. It's that type of humor.
So the funny thing is, I do think Fallout 3 is one of the greatest games ever. You've said that, quote, when we started Fallout 3 in 2004, we obviously had big ideas of what we could do with it, and I talked to a lot of people, from ex-developers to press folks to fans. What made it special? What are the key things you'd want out in a new one? The opinions, and I'll put this mildly, varied a lot, but they would all end the same, like a stern father pausing for effect, but do not screw it up. How do you not screw up a game? You have not screwed up many games yet.
I mean, back to the Fallout one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, look, that I remember that we were met with a lot of skepticism in terms of, oh, what are they going to do with this? It was a beloved kind of isometric turn-based role-playing game, awesome for when it came out. And actually it was announced, we had finished Morrowind, but not announced Oblivion. But because we'd acquired the rights, we had to announce it. Because I think Interplay was a public company. I don't remember. I just remember we had to announce it, and we're thinking there, well, we're gonna piss off all the Elder Scrolls fans because we're announcing a Fallout game. We're probably gonna piss off the hardcore Fallout fans because we didn't make the original, and clearly we'll probably make a different kind of game. So I do remember, there was a lot of concern with all of our fans and fans of Fallout at the time, and so I think it was pretty rewarding for us that game found the audience and success that it did. It's one of my favorite projects that I've ever worked on. And because it was so fresh for us, and we had a very clear, like, even before we had the rights, like, this is the game we're going to make. Like, this is the kind of thing we're going to do. And we had done Morrowind, then we were working on Oblivion. And it was kind of a breath of fresh air to do it. And what's kind of remarkable is Fallout 3 comes out just, 2.5 years after Oblivion. And we did all this DLC for Oblivion. So we were really, really kind of prolific in how our development, how it was going. And so I just remember enjoying making that game so much because it was everything we were doing was new.
Which aspect of the world creation, was there some innovation, like technically, that was happening
The
too?
world creation, like, it was, obviously a different look, even though some of us, very few of us, had worked on the Terminator things. The VAT system, the skill system, and we loved the original game so much. So you felt this responsibility to bring it back in a big way and reintroduce it in a way that, as much as we could, scratch the same itch when you played the original game, that it had the same tone.
Are there some favorite things to you about that world that just kind of connect you? Is it the humor?
Fallout 3, I love, again, I usually start with the beginning. I love the beginning. I love the character generation. If you played it a lot or you're developing it, it starts to feel really long.
Mm-hmm.
But the first time you play it or second, I just think it's awesome. And this idea, it's a hard thing to say, okay, we want you to feel like your character on the screen. Even when you play like a Skyrim, you don't know what you were doing before that. But Fallout 3, you were born in the vault and you were raised in the vault and you lived in the vault, but you experience a part of that. So it's a very different, when you step out, I think it really, I mean, the visuals are the visuals, but the emotional moment of stepping out of the vault, you feel like you lived your whole life in the vault.
And you feel like you have a sense of your past.
Right. And I need to find my father.
We should. Isn't it possible to have that sense with like Elder Scrolls, like a life story, like childhood trauma and stuff? Back to the human.
I mean, you'd
condition.
have to look. You do some of that stuff, but they go through menus. Pick your background. We're doing that in Starfield. Hey, pick your background. What were you doing before this moment?
Can you pick your traumas and stuff? Like,
Say,
that's a mod.
If you want to make a mod,
yeah, thank you.
Go for that.
and then also make a mod for like a therapist.
But a lot of it, you know, is in your head. So you're gonna do that. You're gonna pick this background. You do these things, and you're sort of like, this is who I was.
Yeah.
And we intentionally with Elder Scrolls kind of make it as much of a blank slate. You know, Elder Scrolls is a little bit more of a blank slate game to who you are, which has a lot of positives. And Fallout for us has been more of a this was your life before. Here's who you were. Go be who you want to be, but this is the background. It's a little more strict.
But of course, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for all the latest Fallout content, Fallout news, this and that. Don't forget to comment what your thoughts and opinions are down below about this. Are you guys excited for the new Fallout content that is of course going to be coming out next year, or could you guys just not care? Is Fallout like dead at the moment because of how much they just don't update their games or don't even post new content, all of this type of stuff? Definitely let me know. Are you guys looking forward to the new whatever Fallout 76 content is coming next year? I don't even know if there will be any. I don't even know if they're still working on this game. And look, Fallout 4 Creation Club content, like, let me know. We literally might be getting more Fallout 4 Creation Club content next year than we will Fallout 76, which is just insanely funny to talk about. But, you know, as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and we'll see you guys next time. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.